I thought Hungary, they got to be the hardest working team in the Euros.
Well, I mean, I was really impressed by them when they took on Portugal. And I know, obviously, you look at the scoreline, and if you hadn't seen the game, you'd have thought, 3-0, that's comprehensive. That's a bit of a hammering, really, for your first game. But it was in the 84th minute that Portugal scored. And admittedly, after that, obviously, Hungary fell away. But, they gave them a good game. They're resolute in defence. They do really work hard, Hungary. They're one of my surprise teams so far, I think.
Yeah, they definitely showed an incredible desire yesterday. And caused, look, they got the lead in the end. But the atmosphere played a big part in it, didn't it? Look, the stadium being full, it was just rocking. France have gone through 2 games. They're still, for me, the team to beat, and they haven't really got going in. They got 4 points, and they obviously will get out of that group. And there's more to come from France. But fair play to Hungary, because they made a real game of it yesterday. And like I said, hardest working team I've seen. And that, considering what Scotland did against England the other day, I'd say even Hungary surpassed what Scotland did in effort and desire, because it was extraordinary.
And especially when you consider the group that they're in. You know, everyone would have written off Hungary, obviously, because there's France, there's Portugal, there's Germany in the group. And yet, actually, as you pointed out, they're really working hard. They're working as a unit, quite well drilled, it feels. And they're actually sort of showing everybody, look, when we're not here to be the wooden spoon. They may well end up with the wooden spoon in the group, who knows? But they've kept things alive a little bit for them with that.
They got the final game against Germany, and I think it's in Germany, isn't it?
Yes.
And I do fear for them a bit, because a number of players came off yesterday for them. They made a number of substitutions, some with injuries and others with, just pure fatigue. So I do fear for them in the third game, because, we're going to talk about Portugal, Germany in a moment. So, I do fear for them a bit in that final game.
Well, it's interesting when you talk about Germany, who took on France, first of all, in that first game. And as you pointed out, France perhaps yet to see them at their explosive best, shall we say. And Germany weren't bad in that defeat to France, but they certainly weren't, that's so difficult to say, they weren't as good as France, because we're still expecting to see this better France. But against Portugal, it was a very different animal that we saw. In that first game against France, for example, trying to score a goal was impossible for Germany. Yet they scored 4 against Portugal yesterday.
Yeah, it was... I thought he made some really important decisions. I thought they're 2 wide guys, Germany. Obviously, Kimmich one side and Gusins, isn't it? Gusins?
Yeah, Gusins.
On the left was causing a number of problems. Look, the 2 Portuguese fullbacks were horrendous. Semedo and Rafael just were awful. Both of them got exposed. Both of them got drawn into their centre halves, getting too close to them. The ball was on all the time. Just slip it out wide on the edge of the corner of the 18-yard box, and there was a chance. And that happened, obviously, with a couple of own goals, but it happened regularly during the game. And Germany just caused havoc. And it was a great game for everybody in the forward areas. Kai Havertz, we're going to get chances, because Portugal were easily to score. By the way, Fernandes I've never seen a performance as poor as that for a long time in an international lineup. He looked disinterested completely. And I don't know for what reason, but Fernandes, it wasn't he had a bad game. He gave away the ball, made passes. It just he had no impact on the game at all. And looked like he was disinterested in actually trying to make the game, grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Had no interest at all.
Well, he got substituted in the game, which is quite telling.
Luckily, Nat, he stayed on as long as he did. Because there was something not right with his performance. Because, look, we've all been there, and I've said this many a time. I have a number of bad games in my career, but it wasn't for the lack of trying. He really did lack the effort and desire to play yesterday in a game of that importance.
You mentioned the fullbacks for Portugal. The wing-back full-backs for Germany. And you never know what to say nowadays. Yeah. But for Germany, as you pointed out, Gusins and Kimmich were incredible. Some of the balls they fizzed into the box, which led to the 2 own goals, for example, were impressive. And also the fact that they switched play so much. It's something that England perhaps were crying out for in the game against Scotland, which we didn't really see any of that forward play from the full-backs that we would have wanted to see.
Full-backs are really important. And if you're watching this tournament, fullbacks are going to have a massive impact, because they're, as we chatted with Stuart yesterday, Stuart Pearce came in, they're free a lot. they're the ones who are getting on the ball and positions, in positions where they can cause danger, be a threat. Josh Kimmich is really a natural central midfielder. He can certainly play right back. He's done that for Bayern Munich and he's done that for his country, which is a bit of a luxury for Germany. But they are so important to determine how the outcome of games are, because they're so often the spare men.
Well, they were very impressive, Germany. Is it a case of did we write them off against France?
I still don't know how good they are. I don't really believe they have a natural centre forward. I mean, look, Havertz is a terrific player and he's growing in stature all the time. He did at the end of the season for Chelsea. And again, yesterday playing in the game, you could see that he had a massive, he's infectious in the way he plays. He's he's a lot quicker than people give him credit. He's quick, Havertz. When he gets going, he really can move. And Gnabry was brilliant. I thought his performance yesterday, Serge Gnabry can be a really top player when he's on form. I thought there was a lot of better things for Germany, but I still don't quite know how good they are. I say how good. I think there's better teams than them still in the competition.